And Your Honor, my apologies. Attorney McLeod will be on. She has a dentist appointment, so she will be joining us a little late, but she will be on today for those.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Let's see, Officer Milton, do you have anyone there that we can start with?
Okay, Ms. Shackelford, I think that's Mr. McLean's, and also for the conflict, Miss Attorney Dark, is he gonna be coming on today?
I heard her, Judge. This is Katrina. I will double check with him. He is aware of the reset. All I can do is just call and email. I'll do my best to try to reach out again to him.
Okay, thank you. All right, come on, Ms. Shackelford.
Good morning, Mr. McLean, and this is going to be a, an arraignment, not guilty. You're on mute there.
Good morning.
Ms. Shackelford,
Of the three people I have at ACDC, Shackelford is simply an arraignment. Stivers will be a reset, and the other person, Leon, will be a social worker visit.
and I do not have those two ladies with me. I did not bring them up.
Okay, are they not needed this morning, Mr. McLean?
I don't need Stivers because she's a reset for 1 week, but I do need Leon because I do need the social worker to talk to her. My dilemma on Miss Leon is that it is a 1-count case, and it would be great to get her out of jail today, but the conversation needs to be solidified, and I think that the social worker can help me decide whether she's competent.
Okay,
Is the social worker gonna be available this morning? Because I can go ahead and see if I can get her up here.
okay, let's go ahead and deal with Ms. Shackelford so that we can, and then you can move on to the other ones. If that's okay with you, Officer Milton.
Yeah.
Okay, good morning, Ms. Shackelford. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hands down. Thank you, Ms. Shackelford. You've been charged in case 19 CR 007797C with reckless conduct and dog at large. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Mr. McLean?
We do.
How do you plead, Ms. Shackelford? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
We will record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our bond is moot in that situation because of the size of her felony bond amounts.
Okay. So let's see, I guess we'll be in recess until jail staff returns.
Right. Deputy Norris is literally alone today. This is a problem.
Okay, all right, well, we'll get through it.
Yes, please. Oh my God, thank you, Jesus. you gotta do so many on how to do, how to let you do things and hard. Did I do what I did use on the- That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm not a cookie fan.
Good morning, Attorney Dart. We're in recess right now. We're waiting for the jail to bring down the inmates. But your client is at ACDC. So I don't know, if you want to address it at this time. I can get the judge back on the line. Judge Morrow? Mr. Dark is on the line. I think his client is a female that's at ACDC.
Okay, good.
Miss Riley. I think her name is Riley.
Okay. And what we're gonna do with Miss Riley today, Mr. Dart?
You're on mute, Mr. Dart. You have to unmute yourself.
Your Honor, this is a case that I think I was appointed to some time ago when I was working with the county, but I'm no longer working with the county. So I was unaware of this case, and I have not spoken to this client in quite some time. So I would need the opportunity to speak with her and I guess get everything sorted, or if she could be appointed new counsel, that I think that might be best.
Okay, so you're not a conflict attorney anymore is what you're telling me.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so what I'll do is when we do get a conflict attorney on this morning, I will have them speak with her. And if they need to speak with you, we'll provide them with your number and have them touch base with you. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We'll see if we can get Miss Riley appointed counsel this morning. All right, Mr. Dark, if there's nothing further, I guess you're free to go. We appreciate you letting the court know.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Terrell, I'm sorry, Mr. Dark, will you be filing a withdrawal because you did file an entry on this case?
Yes, I can. I think the entry was a couple years ago, but I will file a withdrawal. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. And is this Miss Riley? Okay, yes, Miss Riley, we'll have someone speak with you this morning to see if we can get you appointed counsel, okay? We'll be back with you.
Mr. McLean,
Yes,
were you able to get the social worker?
not yet. Our social worker is Ms. Burgess today, so we're talking about how to get her to talk to Ms. Leon.
Let me know and I'll get her then. I'll
Hold
be
on,
with-
what position is that, Mr. McLean, that you need the social worker for?
26, 27.
Okay. All right, and if she is not available today, Mr. McLean, we can always reset it till Thursday if that's your pleasure. But I'll see if she shows this morning.
And at least Thursday's only 2 days away. That's not as bad as Tuesday, you're right.
Right, okay. And so just let us know when the social worker I guess gets there. Who do we have beside you, Mr. McLean?
This is Michael Marcus, number 28, Your Honor.
This is going to be a negotiated plea.
It is, I believe it is ready.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Marcus. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
No, talk. We don't do it.
Oh, Is that a yes, sir? Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Tucker. Good to see you.
Good morning. Mr. Marcus will be pleading to 12 months to serve 45 days, credit for time served 16 days, balance probated, to complete a family violence intervention program, and to have no further contact with Ms. Donisha Spite. That's DONEISH''A. Spite is SPEIGHT, and to stay away from 2500 Center Street, Unit C313 in Atlanta, Georgia, 30318.
I tested you, fella.
Mr. McLean,
Your Honor, he asked the court to accept his negotiated plea of guilty while he stipulates to the three necessary elements of factual basis, identification, and venue. Your Honor, he is under instruction and understands to go to 132 Mitchell Street. He should be released in 7 days. That will be 7 extra days and should be released a week from today. Perhaps a week from tomorrow, but to immediately go to 132 Mitchell Street. That's the most important thing.
okay. Mr. Marcus, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 004148Y, you wish to plead guilty to battery, family violence, and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Marcus. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna have position 29, Mr. Muhammad. Now, I apologize for my tardiness, sir.
Oh, I understand that you're there by yourself this morning, so and no need to apologize. We appreciate you.
Appreciative.
And this is Mr. Muhammad, and it's going to be a negotiated plea.
It is.
Good morning, Mr. Muhammad. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Yes, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, Judge, this will be 12 months, serve 16 days, credit for time served 16 days, balance suspended with a stay away from 750 Piedmont Avenue in Atlanta.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, he accepts the terms, he understands them, and asks the court to accept his negotiated plea of guilty while he stipulates to a venue identification and factual basis.
Mr. Muhammad, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 004152G, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct? Are you under the influence of any? Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Muhammad. Good luck to you, sir.
Muhammad, you know what's important.
Next, Your Honor, we have position number 32, Mr. Rainwater.
Also a negotiated plea.
It is, Your Honor. We believe there's another case that involves one count of public drunk and 3 or 4 counts of obstruction. And let's see, oh, can you go down one? Okay, Mr. Rainwater, can you see that there? On that extra case that's not on the calendar, it would be time served as to the jail portion. It would be balance probated and taken alcohol and drug evaluation. If the evaluation said you need treatment, you would have to get the treatment as part of your sentence. If the evaluation did not recommend treatment, you're done. There's a $300 fine. Would you need to convert that to 30 hours of community service or not? Yes, sir. Is that something you and I discussed as far as the public drunk and 4 counts of obstruction? Is that something you want to do, or do you need to talk further with me? It'd be time served for the jail portion, probation. While on probation, get that evaluation and do 30 hours of community service or $300 fine. Okay. Your Honor, he and I actually discussed that case yesterday, even though it's not on the calendar. So he would like to do the extra case as a negotiated plea, as well as the existing case on the calendar as a negotiated plea.
Okay, what is the case number and the charge of the plea that's not on the calendar?
Ms. Tucker has that, I think.
Yes, Judge, it's 22CR006351F. And he's charged with 1 count of public drunkenness and 4 counts of obstruction.
And I need your address right there.
And are those all the charges that he has pending in state court?
Yes, Judge, it's in bench warrant status, but it is an open active case.
Okay, and tell me what the terms are. For
Yes,
that.
Judge.
Public
So
drunk.
for that case, he'd be pleading to 1 count of public drunk and 1 count of obstruction. The 3 remaining counts will be null prossed with the terms 12 months to serve 42 days, credit for time served 21 days. He's been in 18 currently, and he did serve 3 days when he was arrested. So we're giving credit for 21 days, balance probated, to complete an alcohol drug evaluation and any treatment, and to pay the statutory $300 fine on an obstruction.
And so the remaining question, Mr. Rainwater, is it possible during probation to pay a $300 fine, or are you going to ask the court to convert that to 30 hours of community service? You know, he'd like to ask to convert that $300 to 30 hours of community service if possible.
And no objection.
Okay. So good morning, Mr. Rainwater. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. So Ms. Tucker, we've gone through the public drunk and the obstruction. If we can go through the theft by shoplifting, please.
Yes, Judge. In that case, the offer would be 12 months to serve 36 days, credit for time served 18 days, balance probated, to complete an anti-theft course, and to stay away from 3400 Northside Parkway, which is the Southern Wine and Spirits shop.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, those are the terms we expected to hear in each case, and he does stipulate the factual basis, venue, and identification. He asked the court to accept his negotiated pleas, plural, of guilty.
Mr. Wright? Mr. Rainwater, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 0063551F, you wish to plead guilty to public drunkenness and obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and in case 23 CR 0041120F, you wish to plead guilty to theft by shoplifting. Is that correct?
Sir, yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
Sir, no, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Sir, yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Sir, yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
Sir, no, sir.
I'll accept the pleas as negotiated, Mr. Rainwater. When you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you get it done, the sooner you don't have to report to probation, okay?
Sir, yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Rainwater.
Sir, yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna have position 46 and position 47, Mr. Travis Upshaw.
And these are also negotiated, please, Mr. McLean.
Correct, Your Honor. Yes, it is. They are.
Good morning, Mr. Upshaw. I'm Judge Eric Mara. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hands on. Thank you, Mr. Upshaw. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. The offer in the first case is 12 months to serve 36 days, credit for time served 18 days, balance suspended, but to stay away from 9955 Old Dogwood Road, which is Studio 6 in Roswell.
And for 47?
Yes, Judge, that will be 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 18, balance probated, to complete an 8-week anger management class, and to stay away from 685 Holcomb Bridge Road, which is a Shell gas station.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, those are the terms we expected to hear on both, and we'd ask the court to accept his negotiated pleas guilty. He does stipulate the factual basis, identification, and venue.
Mr. Upshaw, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 0041248, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. And in case 23 CR 0041258, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, and simple battery against police officers. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept your plea as negotiated, Mr. Upshaw. Let's see. When you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status, okay? So the sooner you get the terms done, the sooner you won't have to be on reporting probation, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Upshaw.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have position number 50, Mr. Michael Wilcox.
That's also a negotiated plea.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Good
Your Honor.
morning. Good morning, Mr. Wilcox. I'm Judge Eric Mara. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, this offer is 12 months to serve 38 days, credit for time served 19 days, balance probated, to complete an anti-theft course, to complete an alcohol and drug evaluation and any recommended treatment, and to stay away from 556 North Side Drive, which is a Shell gas station.
Mr. McLean,
Nothing to add, Your Honor. Those are the terms we expected to hear, and he does stipulate to three necessary elements.
Mr. Wilcox, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 0041114Y, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass, theft by shoplifting, and public drunk. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you have your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept your plea as negotiated. Also, Mr. Wilcox, when you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status, okay? So the sooner you get it done, the sooner you don't have to report. Good luck to you, sir.
Good to meet you. Your Honor, we're gonna go to probation 1 and 2, Mr. Hunt. Is it Tom
Okay.
Hunt? He's right here. You wanna go to?
Good morning, Ms. Harris. I hope you're doing well today.
Your Honor, Dotis needs to speak to his client, so we're gonna go to someone else.
Oh, okay, so he needs to speak with Mr. Hunt. Okay,
That is correct. We can do an arraignment on
okay.
Robinson.
We'll be back with you, Ms. Harris.
Thank
Thank you.
No. We were in mid-play on number 41, Jesse Smith. We're gonna do position number 6, Mr. Brian Carter. Okay. David Thomas, I think you and I were back. Okay. It's gonna be position number 6, Mr. Brian Carter, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Your Honor, this should, after further discussion with ASG Vicker staff, this should be a negotiated plea.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Carter. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down. Good morning, Ms. Bickerstaff.
Good morning. Good morning, Judge Morrow. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you are as well.
Thank you. The state's offer, it will be a time served and balance suspended and to stay away from the TJ Maxx at 2602 Marketplace Boulevard.
Okay, that's 12 months to serve, 32 days, credit for time served, 16 days, balance suspended. And
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Mr. Dotis?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did have a chance to go over everything with my client. We do ask this court to accept this offer and do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for the purpose of this plea.
Mr. Carter, it's my understanding that in case 15 CR 005074, you wish to plead guilty to theft by shoplifting. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, we have position 1 and position 2, Mr. Willie Allen.
And what are we doing with Mr. Allen today?
1 second, Your Honor. Mr. Allen did have one question.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're ready to proceed.
And yes, what are we doing with Mr. Allen today?
For positions 1, 2, and 3, we will be pleading not guilty and waiving arraignment.
Okay. And you will follow a written waiver?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Allen, your case is going to be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date, sir. Good luck to you.
Next, Your Honor, we have position 9 and position 10, Mr. Thomas Colton.
And Your Honor, I did put non-negotiated. Our only issue was restitution. So we'd ask ASU Dicker staff if they have an amount or if we could just do no restitution.
We don't have an amount, so we can do no restitution on this one.
Thank you.
Okay, so that makes it negotiated. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Colton. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Colton. Yes, Ms. Bickerstaff.
Yes, so for position 9, the state's offers 12 months to serve 70 days, credit for time served 35 days, balance probated to a 6-week anger management course, no further contact with Ms. Jasmine Marshall, and to stay away from 320 Fairburn Road, apartment M7. And for position 10, we're gonna no pros.
Okay, Mr. Dutters.
Yes, Your Honor, that's our understanding of the offer, and we do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID. We would request Mr. Colton to switch to non-reporting status upon completion of the anger management. Mr. Colton also tells me he was last working for Trojan Later Temp Agency, and he's hopeful he can return. But that isn't steady work, so we would request this court to waive a few months of his probation fees.
Okay, Mr. Colton, it's my understanding that in case 20 CR 006-148J, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and simple assault. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
Yes, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Colton. When you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status. Given it's only 6 weeks of anger management, he should be able to get through that relatively quickly, Mr. Doders, and not have that much to incur in additional fees. So I'm reticent to waive the fees at this time, but I will let it go to non-reporting.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Colton.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Colton.
Yes, sir.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna have position number 12, Mr. Dixon.
Announcement, David Thomas is a plea.
Have you interviewed him, Mr. Doders?
Yes, Your Honor, I did have a chance to interview Mr. Dixon. After discussion, I believe that we are going to plead not guilty, waive arraignment, and request to address bonds.
Okay, let's see. Who's on from pretrial today?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Tyson, does Mr. Dixon have a history?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Dixon has 5 arrest cycles beginning in 2011. He does have a felony conviction for aggravated battery out of Fulton County. The disposition date on that is February of 2023. And that looks like that's it, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Bickerstaff, what's the current bond?
The current bond is a $15,000 surety bond. Yes, and this incident occurred on the 4th of July of this year at 386 Hopkins Street. And this is where Miss Lucille Lewis told officers that she was laying in a bed and her boyfriend, the defendant, wanted to engage in sex with her. And when she refused, the defendant became upset and he started to call her a stupid B word. And then Miss Lewis also informed officers that the defendant was drunk on this night, and at the time, he put his finger in her eye and he started to poke her aggressively. Officers noted in the warrant that she had redness and a laceration on her face due to the defendant's nails. And our office was able to speak to Miss Lewis, and she let us know that they're in a relationship and that they live together. But she confirmed the events in the warrant. She let us know that this is not the first time that the defendant's been violent with her. She let us know that they had a previous case for battery. And that case number, Your Honor, is 21 CR 003525J. And she told us that she does not want any contact with the defendant. And she stated that she doesn't want him to return to the residence, Your Honor. So the state would just recommend that we keep the bond as set. The defendant has already had a violent history with the victim, and he's currently has an aggravated battery charge pending.
The 21 CR 0035 case, is that pending? Is that open?
Let me double check really quickly. Let me just double check it. No, it is not pending. The final disposition on that case was given March of this year, and it was a balance suspended disposition from Judge Besson. And to have no further contact with Ms. Marshall.
Okay, so it's a guilty plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and did I sign the bond on this one? That's before me today?
Judge Law.
Okay, Judge Law signed it, okay. Yes, Mr. Dudley.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Dixon is 47 years old. He has been in custody for the past 15 days on a $15,000 surety bond that he cannot afford. I do have good contact information. He has been in Georgia for the past 16 years. Plans to remain here. He has good family ties in the area, including a daughter, Kyra. I do have a good address for him that is separate from the incident location that Ms. Lewis has no reason to go to. So Mr. Dixon is clear that he can have no further contact with Ms. Lewis, and that he cannot return to that location, and that he must go to this separate location that she does not know about, so that they won't have any future issues. He's currently working at the Brave Stadium at Truist Park as a cook. That job is waiting for him as of now, but he is in danger of losing that, which is why we are requesting bond. Your Honor, Mr. Dixon believes that with his daughter's help, he could afford a $3,000 surety bond. Again, he is clear on the no further contact, the stay away, and any and all other conditions that this court would deem sufficient to ensure the safety of the alleged victim and the community.
Okay, it'd be different if he didn't have the history that he has, Mr. Dodas. He has a March guilty plea, a February felony aggravated assault charge. He has this charge from July. As such, I'm not willing to lower the bond that someone else has. That another judge has said at this time. There don't seem to be any changed circumstances in that regard. So the bond will remain the same at this point. Good luck to you, Mr. Dixon.
Understood, Your Honor. You done, Lisa.
If you can just give me just one moment.
David Thomas is here. He's negotiating. You go first. Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 43, Mr. David Thomas.
Your Honor, that was earlier announced as a TBA. This is a negotiated plea.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Thomas. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thomas. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, that offer is going to be 12 months to serve 36 days. Credit for time served 18 days. Balance probated to complete an anti-theft course and to stay away from the incident location, which is 649 Techwood Drive, and really to stay away from the whole Georgia Tech property.
Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, given the last comment, Mr. Thomas, it is important to understand the Georgia Tech campus is really large and covers, it goes on different sides of different highways. The whole Georgia Tech property. Okay, all right. Your Honor, he's ready. He stipulates to venue identification and factual basis. He asks the court to accept his negotiated plea of guilty.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 004121A, you wish to plead guilty to theft by taking and giving false information to law enforcement. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
With the nothing, sir?
You don't want a jury trial, do you?
No, sir.
Okay, so by pleading guilty, you're giving up, you have a right to have a jury trial, but by pleading guilty, you're giving up that right. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, has anybody forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I will accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Thomas, when you complete the theft course, the probation is going to terminate. So the sooner you get that theft course done, the sooner you're not on probation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank
Next, Your Honor, we got position 44 and 45. Mr. Turner?
That's your first time.
Can I?
The one?
Can I?
No. Okay.
And this is also a negotiated plea.
It is, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Turner. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Turner. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, in position 44, the offer is 12 months to serve 38 days, credit for time served 19 days, balance suspended. And we did include a stay away, but I'm looking now and it appears the MARTA stay away it ended in September 25th, 2022, since this is an older case. So we're not going to require any additional stay away, just simply to comply with any, MARTA stayaways in place, but it's my understanding that's already lifted. As far as position 45, the failure to appear, that will be null prost in consideration of the plea to case 45.
Okay, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor, he accepts the terms and stipulates 3 necessary elements and asks the court to accept his plea.
Mr. Turner, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 005051F, you wish to plead guilty to loitering and prowling, possession and use of drug-related objects, and criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, Your Honor.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Mr. Turner, good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, may I ask a question?
You can ask Mr. McLean if you like.
Give me 1 second, Your Honor. Both attorneys are interviewing clients.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Your Honor, we're gonna go to, he's actually position 21 and position 1 and 2 on probation revocation calendar.
And we would request to address the probation violation first, Your Honor.
Okay, so this is Mr. Hunt. And let's see, Ms. Harris, are you with us?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Hunt. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the probation revocation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your cases heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Yes, Officer Harris.
Your Honor, Mr. Hunt was sentenced to probation on June 23rd, 2022 to 12 months to complete 12 weeks of anger management. As of today, Mr. Hunt has not reported to our office. He missed a prior hearing with Judge Morrison on December the 28th. He failed to appear for that hearing. That's why a warrant was issued. Mr. Hunt has 4 months, 28 days remaining. Probation recommendation is to revoke.
And what were, aside from not reporting, what were the terms that he was to complete?
12 weeks of anger management, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Douglas?
Thank you, Your Honor. After speaking with Mr. Hunt, we would request that his probation be reinstated. I spoke to Mr. Hunt, and shortly after resolving the case that we're here today for, his residence burned down, and he was dealing with finding a place to live and getting back on his feet. He did not notify his probation officer of this issue, and when the paperwork wasn't going to his new mailing address, he didn't think anything of it. He thought someone would reach out. He's now living, because he doesn't have a home, he is living at a Travelodge hotel, where he also performs landscaping as work to allow him to live there. I have a good address for that. I also have the phone numbers of both of his supervisors that he arranged to deal with. He is clear of what is required of him and has told me that he can do the anger management classes. I provided him paperwork with probation's phone number as well as the address. He's clear that the first thing he needs to do is reach out, call them, make sure that he's scheduled a meeting. And if he's unable to get them by the phone, he has the address and knows he needs to physically make his way down there. And that the most important thing is to stay in contact. So we would request that he be given a second chance and reinstated.
So he does realize, Mr. Douglas, if he has to complete a 12-week anger management class, he only has 4 months to get that completed, and he's going to have to hustle it up and get that done.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we went over that, and I told him ways that he can do that, and he's clear that he believes that he can do that within the 4-month period.
Okay, so I'm going to give you that opportunity to get that done, Mr. Hunt, because I'd rather you be doing something aside from sitting in jail. But let me just say, I'm going to give you the opportunity on the condition that you do not miss any reporting to probation. If you even miss one time, I'm going to have Officer Harris bring you back and that I'm going to revoke the remaining balance. And you are to report as scheduled. You are to start the anger management within the next week so that you can get it done. And if you don't, then like I said, I'm going to revoke whatever balance that you have. I'm going to direct Officer Harris to bring you back here if you miss one reporting session. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll give you that opportunity.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. What about the other case, Mr. Dotis?
Your Honor, for position 21, I believe, yes, 21, we're going to plead not guilty and waive arraignment. That case is not holding, Mr. Hunt. Yes,
Okay.
you will need to report to any future court dates for that case.
Okay, so position 21 will be returned to the division judge and you'll get notification of your next hearing date, Mr. Hunt. All right, good luck to you, sir. Don't disappoint me, okay?
I won't, Your Honor.
All right, good luck.
All right.
Thank you, Officer Harris.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna have position 15 and position 16, Mr. Sterling Green.
And these are negotiated, please.
My apologies, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, both of these are negotiated, please.
Good morning, Mr. Green. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Is that a yes? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You have to speak up a little bit for me, Mr. Green. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Other one.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Green. Thank you. Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, for position 15, the state offers 12 months to serve 88 days, credit for time served 44 days, balance suspended, and for the defendant to comply with all MARTA suspensions. And then for position 16, it's concurrent with position 15, 12 months to serve 88 days, credit for time served 44 days, balance suspended, and additionally to comply with all MARTA suspensions.
Mr. Dotis?
Yes, Your Honor, that's our understanding of the offer. I do need to confirm the jail time. I'm not sure if one moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
For position 16, case number ending in 643 that occurred January 30th, I do have that Mr. Green only has 4 days of credit for that case. So I would ask if we could just word it as serve 8 days credit for time served 4 days, so it's in the same spirit of the deal. He's being held on other charges now, and that credit would not count for these cases.
Any objection, Ms. Bickerstaff?
Objection, I'm just double checking it. Yeah, 4 days. I see what you're talking about. Mr. Dotis, yeah, so it can be worded as to serve 8 credit for 4.
Thank you. Apologies for not noting that earlier. We would
Say it again, Mr. I didn't hear what you last said, Mr. Dotis.
I just apologize to Ms. Bickerstaff for not noting that earlier. And then I said that we do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for the purpose of these pleas.
Okay. Mr. Green, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 003354C, you wish to plead guilty to certain acts on the bus rail station that are prohibited and criminal trespass. And in case 23 CR 000643C, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated. Good luck to you, Mr. Green.
Sure.
Position 41, Mr. Smith. 5 North.
Okay. And this is non-negotiated. What's contested?
No, it's a negotiated plea, Your Honor. He accepts all the terms. It was the, when we were in court before with another court, judge, there was some concern about whether he could complete the conditions. He, Your Honor, recently received in the last month, I believe, a 30-year sentence, a 360-month federal sentence. This is a 2016 DUI. The state has certain the legislature of the state of Georgia has certain requirements, mandatory requirements in a DUI plea. Classes he can do. Classes are offered in federal prison. I was pointing out that it might be impossible for him to do any community service or to pay any fines. But he accepts the negotiated plea of this matter from 2016 and would like the court to sentence him accordingly. I was just really was putting a caveat, just an alert that parts of the sentence may be impossible for him to do.
Okay. So you would like for the court to accept the negotiated plea, Mr. McLean, with the
Yes, Your Honor.
terms?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? I can't hear you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. The plea offer is 12 months to serve 64 days, credit for time served 32 days, balance probated, to complete an alcohol drug evaluation and any recommended treatment, complete a risk reduction course, 1 victim impact panel, to pay a $300 fine, and to complete 40 hours of community service. That is the statutory minimum for a first-time DUI. And he'll be pleading to the DUI combined, the DUI less safe, and the DUI drugs. Positions 5 and 6 will merge into position 3. And the rest of the sentences will just run concurrent.
Okay, so he's, hold on. He's pleading guilty to 2 fast food conditions, number 2, failure to maintain lane, number 3, DUI, under the influence of alcohol and drugs, 4, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, 7, driving without a valid license, and 8, failure to report striking a fixed object.
Yes, Judge, that's my understanding.
Is that your understanding, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor. And let me point out too that although he was on loan to U.S. Marshals physically, he has been in Fulton County Sheriff's custody for years.
Okay. And what would you like the court to do with that?
Well, just to confirm that perhaps, although there are statutory requirements in the plea, he's really done so much time that any revocation would not lie in the future.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. McLean?
That's it.
Mr. Smith, it's my understanding that in case 17 CR 010931D, you wish to plead guilty to 2 fast food conditions, failure to maintain lane, driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, driving without a valid license, and failure to report striking a fixed object. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the present time?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Smith. Good luck to you, sir.
Next is position number 17 and 18, Henderson.
And this is going to be a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Henderson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, the state's offer is 12 months to serve 60 days, credit for time served 30 days, balance suspended, and to comply with all MARTA suspensions. And then for position 18, we're gonna no pros.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes, Your Honor, that's our understanding. We do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. Henderson, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 004481F, you wish to plead guilty to fair evasion and criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, I'm not.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Henderson. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Position 8, Mr. Coates.
And let's see, Mr. Douglas, I just wanted you to know we have a person here, everyone to know that we have a person here in the courtroom on Mr. Coates's case. It's my understanding that, is this going to be a waiver and addressing bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Tyson, does Mr. Coates have a history?
Yes, Your Honor. One moment. Mr. Coates, he has 31 arrest cycles beginning in 1987. Let's see. History within the last, 10 years, looking for his last arrest. Looks like his last arrest was October of 2022 for robbery and simple battery in a public transit vehicle or station. There's no disposition listed for that case. It looks like he has an open terroristic threats and acts case out of DeKalb County. Arrest date on that is September of 2021. It looks like he had a simple battery, October of 2020, that was bound over. No disposition is listed for that. He has one violation of probation, and that violation of probation was out of Colquitt, and that was September of 2013. Nothing to add, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Bickerstaff, what's the current bond and what are the facts?
Yes, so the current bond is a $3,000 surety bond. And this case occurred last month, so June 30th of this year at 1295 Norman Berry Drive, apartment or unit 4. And this is where the defendant pushed his girlfriend, Miss Patisa Moore. He pushed her down and he stumped her face. And officers noted that she had a cut over her right eye and bruising to her leg because of what the defendant did to her. When officers spoke with the defendant, He advised that Ms. Moore was not allowing him inside the residence where his name is on the lease, but Ms. Moore informed officers that his name is secondary to the lease. She is the primary leaseholder of that residence. And he told officers that he hit the door, and officers did observe damage to the door, like the hinges were broken from the defendant hitting the door. Ms. Moore also told officers that when he pushed her down, when the defendant pushed her down, she broke the toilet. She broke the toilet, and officers observed that the toilet was broken in this incident. Officers learned at the time that the defendant had a warrant for his arrest in DeKalb County. We were able to speak to Ms. Moore, and she let us know that they were in a relationship, that at the time of this, they were in a relationship and that they lived together. She let us know that this is not the first time that he's been violent with her. And she mentioned the open case in DeKalb County from last year with the defendant. She confirmed the events listed in the warrant. And she said that the defendant drinks a lot. And when he does this, he gets very violent. And she let us know that she's very afraid of the defendant and that she does not want any contact with him, Your Honor. So the state's request that we keep the $3,000 surety bond is more than reasonable considering what the defendant has done to Ms. Moore. And if Ms. Moore is in the courtroom with you, I'd like to sound for her.
Are you Miss Moore?
Is his name James Coates?
Yes. Is it- I imagine so. Yes. He's on the screen. Do you want to?
That's not him. His name is James Coates, but that's not him.
And Mr. Coates is at 5 North.
My name is Matt.
Yes, he is.
Okay. And so you're here for, that's not who you're here for, ma'am?
His name is James. My name is Madeline Lawson. His name is James Coates. Does he have a relative named that one? I can't tell if that's him or not. Say, let us say his name again.
5 North, sir. Say your name.
James Coates.
Okay. But you are not Ms. Moore.
Oh, his cousin.
Okay. Well, just to let you know, Mr. Coates, your cousin, what's your name, ma'am?
Madeline Robinson.
Madeline Robertson is in the courtroom with me.
Yes, sir.
All right. We cleared that up. Mr. Dodas?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Coates is 53 years old. He has been in custody for the past 17 days on a $3,000 surety bond that he cannot afford. I do have good contact information for Mr. Coates, including a good phone number, as well as an address that is separate from the incident location. And it's an address that Mr. Coates tells me that Ms. Moore has no reason to go to. Mr. Coates is a lifelong resident of the state of Georgia. He does have ties to the community, as well as we saw from Ms. Robertson, he has family support in the room that showed up to support him in person. He also has an uncle who's a retired Fulton County sheriff, which he tells me. He went to high school at Colquitt County, and he's currently working at First Step, which is a temp agency that he tells me he can return to. He is aware that he has a hold in DeKalb, but he cannot afford any bond. So at this point, we would just request a signature bond. As stated, he does have a separate address he can return and stay at. He's clear on no further contact with Ms. Moore and any stayaways from the incident location. And he's also clear that he will need to, if given a signature bond, he will need to report to any future court dates.
Okay, I set this bond back on July 3rd. Mr. Dodas, I don't see that any of the circumstances have changed since I set the bond. As such, I will not modify it at the present time. Good luck to you, Mr. Coates.
Your Honor, can we go to Mr. English, Christopher English, position 14?
Okay. And what are we doing with Mr. English today?
Thank you, Your Honor. After further discussion with Mr. English, who I was able to speak with today, I believe that this is going to be a negotiated plea.
Okay. Yes, good morning, Mr. English. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state on purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Yes, Ms. Bickerstaff.
Yes, the state's offer is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended, and to stay away from 478 Woodrow Avenue, as well as no further contact with the victim Adams in this case.
Mr. Dotis?
That's our understanding of the offer, Your Honor, when we stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and idea. I've also provided Mr. English with a list of housing resources to help him land on his feet.
Okay, Mr. English, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 004163Y, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
Okay, I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. English. Good luck to you, sir.
Position number 4, Beckham.
I have that a conflict attorney is needed on this matter. Ms. McLeod.
Ms. McLeod, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. McLeod, are you, I see that you're on. Are you with me?
Good morning, Judge Morrow. How are you?
I'm doing well, Ms. McLeod. I hope you are as well. Have you had a chance to speak with your client? This is position 4, Gerald
Voice
Beckham.
spoken, Mr. Hall.
Say it again.
I have not been able to speak with him.
Okay, so you're going in and out on me, Ms. McLeod.
I have not been able to speak with him as yet, Your Honor.
Okay, so let's see. Is there a phone at 3 South that we can have about call?
No, sir. Can we do a breakout session? Because I don't have a phone.
Okay. Is that found? Mr. McLeod?
For a breakout, I also have one of Ms. McLeod's clients, Mr. Holloway, position 19 and 20, and she just finished talking to him. Can we handle that?
I've spoken to Mr. Holloway already.
Okay, and what are we gonna do with Mr. Holloway this morning?
He's going to be taking a plea, Your Honor.
Okay, so 3 South, if you can hold on for me for a moment. Good morning, Mr. Holloway. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state on purpose calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Yes, Ms. Bickerstaff.
Yes, for position 19 and 20, the state's offer is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, that is our understanding of the plea offer.
Okay. Mr. Holloway, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 004161J, you wish to plead guilty to fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer and distracted driving. And in case 23 CR 004167J, you wish to plead guilty to driving with a child or youth restraint not properly used and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the obstruction charge was dismissed when he appeared on SAP, on SCA calendar. I have the NOD
Okay.
on that charge.
Is that your understanding, Ms. Bickerstaff?
Sorry, I was saying, let me double check it real quick. I'm just pulling it up. The obstruction charge was,
I can email you a copy of the NOD.
please, Ms. McLeod, thank you, because I don't see that it's NOD over here, but if you could just send it to me, that'd be great.
I will.
When was it?
It's NOD on the jail screen too,
It
Judge.
is.
Oh,
Yes,
okay, all
it's
right,
NOD on the
so,
jail screen.
he's, just pleading to the, a child or youth restraint not used properly in position 20, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So let me start this again, Mr. Holloway. You wish to plead guilty to fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer in distracted driving in position 19 and position 20, child or youth restraint not used properly. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept the pleas as negotiated, Mr. Holloway. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, so now if we can place Ms. McLeod into a breakout room with 3 South, please.
Hold up, Judge, let me make this correction. On that NOD, the incident date for that NOD was August the 22nd, 2021. The willful obstruction of law enforcement officer for July the 4th of 2023 was not NOD. So he had 2 willful obstruction on 2 different incident dates. The one that was NOD was the one for August the 22nd of 2021. The one that's on the counter is still active. Just want to clarify that.
Okay, so Ms. McLeod, apparently he had 2 charges. One of them was. Does he still wish to plead to position 20, the willful obstruction? Ms. McLeod, do you need to talk to him?
No, Your Honor, he does.
Okay, may I have Mr. Holloway back, please? Mr. Holloway, apparently this willful obstruction was not dismissed. It is my understanding. I'm sorry, Ms. McLeod, would you mind muting for a moment? Thank you. It is my understanding that this willful obstruction, which occurred on July 4th of 2023, was not NOD. It is my understanding and that's now a process, was not dismissed, so it's still pending. It's my understanding from your counsel that you wish to plead guilty to this willful obstruction that occurred on July 4th of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
You've been represented by Ms. McLeod. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury.
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll accept your guilty plea on that charge, and it will be the same. We've already gone through the disposition. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I guess so. Now if we can place Ms. McLeod and 3 South into a breakout room, and I'll take whomever's next in courtroom 2.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna have position 22, For position 23, Mr. Venanzio Jackson.
And what are we doing with Mr. Jackson this morning?
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that this will be a negotiated plea. I did make a note to correct the jail time. It's my understanding that he does have 807 days of credit for this case. So I want to make sure we word it correctly so that he gets credit for the time he's done, but also has time to do the DUI conditions.
Okay, so, do you need something from Ms. Bickerstaff?
If we can just reword it so that he gets credit for the 807 days, just so that's on the paperwork. I'm just trying to make sure he'll have, that's, 26 and a half months of time. So I want to make sure that if there's 3 charges and we do it consecutive, I just want to make sure that we word it correctly so that he has time to do these conditions.
Okay, that's no problem, Mr. Dotis. I'm just, okay, that's fine. I just don't see, where is the DUI? This is it. Okay, this is, and how many days is it?
When I calculated all the time, I got a total of 807 days.
Yes, 768, 69. This is what this says. 769.
right.
You said
807 days, including the time for the, he's in currently for the failure to appear.
excluding that 807. Okay, so 12 months so it would be 12 months to serve, 807 days, credit for time served, balance probated to the conditions in ADET, a risk reduction course, 40 hours of community service, a $300 fine, and a victim impact panel.
Right, so I think that we would need to do it as, sir, and Your Honor, please correct me, or Ms. Lewis or anyone. Would we need to do it consecutive and do 36 months of probation on the 3 counts? I know counts 4 and 7 would merge.
Are you just trying to have him be on probation for 36 months?
Minus the credit he's done, so minus the 26 months he's done, so that he has time, so that he's getting all the credit if that's needed in the future, but to ensure that he has ample time to complete all these classes. And if I'm not doing this correctly, someone please correct me.
Normally, you will have the probation to run consecutive to the charges that he's taking the plea on. So the other charge would just be associated as probation only for him to run consecutive to give him enough time to complete the classes.
Okay.
So it just be no condition on the other ones, just be probation to run consecutive.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lewis. Or Ms. Strong, I'm not sure who's on.
I'm confused.
Okay, so, Ms. Lewis,
Mm-hmm.
yes, how should that be worded on the paperwork?
Hold on. Give another position number again.
23.
So all the DUIs, you have to understand that all the DUIs was not, they were NOD. So I want to make that clear to everybody know that number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7 were all NOD. They shouldn't have printed out on the counter, but they did. I don't know if there was a notation on the count on the file folder that Ms. Strong has down there, but the DUI for alcohol per se, the influence of drugs, the alcohol and drugs, and the influence of DUI with the glue and the toxic vapor, all those were NOD.
So 4 through 7 are NOD.
Yes, 4 through 7 NOD. So he's only in there for the 3 charges, which is the DUI, alcohol, let's say, possession of open container, and expired tag.
So it's so if that's the case then, and they all run consecutive, that would be 195 days.
So pretty much, yeah, so he'll take the plea on the DUI, that's 12 months of probation. And then possession of open container for 12 months of probation and expired tags for 12 months of probation. He'll have the conditions on, I guess, just on the DUI. But the other two charges just be probation to run consecutive with him, so that gives him 36 months of probation. Is that clear? Does that make sense? Does everybody understand?
Well, Mr. Dotis, Ms. Bickerstaff,
You're only dealing with 3 charges. You're not dealing with 7 charges on this counter because the state NOD these charges back in 2021.
Right. Yeah,
There's only 3 charges that you're dealing with on this counter.
correct. That makes sense to me.
Okay. So if he's pleading to all 3 of the charges, probation, whatever conditions you're given for the probation, and then 2 and 3 can be just 12 months of probation to run consecutive, which will give him 36 months if y'all trying to give him 36 months of probation.
Right, that makes sense.
And Casey, I'll show you how to write it up if you need to when you get done recording.
Okay, I think I did want to clarify, Your Honor, I did hear you mention 160 something days of credit. Am I doing my math wrong? Am I looking at something incorrectly? I just want to make sure I'm typing it all up so that
no, you initially said he's been in 107 days, right?
So he has a total, including the FTA, of 807 days.
Okay, so that's where this all started. So if he has 807 days, and all 3 charges add up to 36 months. I guess I'm not understanding what,
I think he's are you trying to give him credit for the time when he got arrested on these charges? Or he spent almost 2 years on these charges?
I'm just trying to get the credit that I thought he was owed, so that's all on the paperwork if needed.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, because he's only been in jail for the FTA for 38 days, as we can see.
Correct.
And then he was previously arrested on the charge back in 2020 when he spent almost two years in jail, which was 769 days on these charges. Because he had felony charges at the time. So that's the reason why he was in jail for that long at that time.
Right, I understand that. I didn't know if we needed to calculate all this on the paperwork to make sure.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, you just want to indicate, give him the time for the credit that he's in there for whatever you want to give him for. You just want to make sure the probation is run consecutive. That's your main point.
Okay. I think we're on the same page, and I just want to make sure we're typing it up correctly.
Yeah, we're on the same page. And Mr. Strong, I will walk you through that if you get lost. It's no problem.
so, that's all cleared up, Ms. Bickerstaff.
If I could just have a second to go on mute to clear this up for Mr. Jackson, I know we're.
Okay, that's fine. And since I have you back here, Ms. McLeod,
Yes, Your Honor.
yes, what was 3 South? Tell me the position again.
It's number 4, Your Honor, Miss Beckham.
And what are we doing with Ms. Beckham?
She is going to take a non-negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Okay, and what's non-negotiated? What's the issue?
The state wants her to do probation, Your Honor. Also, there was a note about restitution. For the elements I wanted to address with the court.
Do we have a restitution amount, Ms. Bickerstaff?
What position is that? I'm sorry.
You find position 4.
Let's see. Let's see if we were able to get one. So no, we're not gonna do restitution The victim said he's not seeking any restitution, so we can get rid of that.
Okay, and it'll be balance suspended?
It'll just be balance, well, yes, balance suspended, that's all.
We're fine with that. That was the issue, Your Honor, because my client, she is unemployed. She's an SSI, so she's not in a position to pay probation fees or restitution. So
Okay, so that's fine. So balance will be suspended. So let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and take this plea. Good morning, Ms. Beth. Good morning. Good morning, ma'am. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? I do. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Put your hand down. Yes, anything further, Ms. Bickerstaff?
No, just 12 months to serve 34 days, credit for time served 17 days, balance suspended, stay away from 324 8th Street, and no further contact with Mr. McGuire. That's spelled MAUGER.
Ms. McLeod?
yes, that is our understanding of the terms of the plea.
Ms. Beckham, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 004127C, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass and damage to property and criminal trespass. Is that correct? That's correct. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning? I am not. Been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation? I am. You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury? I do. Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty? No one. I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Ms. Beckham. Good luck to you, ma'am. Thank you. Ms. McLeod, we are also in need of a conflict attorney on positions 35 through 38.
I would be happy to speak with them, Your Honor.
Okay, they were at ACDC, and it's a Mia Riley. So I can put you into a breakout room when ACDC comes.
That will be fine, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Yes.
right now I'm doing a juvenile case, so I cannot leave the room
Okay.
That's
until
fine.
that
I'm available
is finished.
anytime.
Okay. So if Officer Milton, if you'll just let us know when you are able to move forward, okay? And Ms.
Yes,
McLeod,
sir.
are you able to remain with us?
Yes, Your Honor, I am. I had a dental appointment earlier, but I'm fine now. I'm
All
back
right.
in the office.
Okay.
I'm good to go.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Okay, so let's go back, I guess, to courtroom 2. Are we ready to move forward?
Yes, Your Honor. I explained to Mr. Jackson the situation, and I believe that we are, he knows what's required of him, and we're ready to go forward with the negotiated plea.
Okay, let's see, let's just start from the beginning. Ms. Bickerstaff?
Okay, so for position 23, the states offers 12 months to serve, 107 days, credit for time served at 187 days. Balance probated to an ADET risk reduction course, 40 hours of community service, $300 fine, and a victim impact panel course. Or program, I'm sorry. And then for position 22, we'll no pros.
Okay, so it's your understanding that he's pleading to position 1, less safe, position 2, possession of open alcohol container, position 3, expired tag. Is that right, Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and yeah, that's your understanding, Mr. Dotis?
Yes, Your Honor, we do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for the purpose of this plea. We would request that probation terminate upon completion of all conditions. We'd also ask the court to convert the $300 fine into community service, as Mr. Jackson does not have stable employment at this time and wants to make sure that he can meet his obligations for the other classes.
I can't allow it to terminate, but it can go to non-reporting.
Understood, Your Honor.
And again, I'm sorry, Mr. Dotis, what was your last request?
To convert the $300 fine to additional community service hours.
Okay, any objection to that, Ms. Bickerstaff?
No, just to clarify, so would you, Mr. Daughters, would you like to add 30 extra hours to the 40 hours already? So a total of 70 community service hours?
Right. If
You
that
want to
works.
do that? That's what I just want to make sure.
Yes, yes.
Okay, no objection. So 70 hours.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 0075553B, you wish to plead guilty to driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, possession of open alcohol container, and expired tag or unregistered vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And just let me make sure, Mr. Jackson, I don't know if I swore you in. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Jackson. The fine will be turned into community service, and once you complete the terms, it'll go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you get it done, the sooner you don't have to report to probation. Good luck to you, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Position 7, Mr. Cheeks.
And this is going to be a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Cheeks. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down. Thank you, sir. Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, the state's offer is 12 months to serve 16 days, credit for time served 8 days, balance suspended, and for the defendant to obtain a valid driver's license.
Mr. Butters?
Yes, Your Honor, that's our understanding, and we do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID.
Mr. Cheeks, it's my understanding that in case 22 CR 002585C, you wish to plead guilty to driving while your license was suspended or revoked. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Cheeks. You understand you can't drive unless you have a driver's license, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Position 39, Robertson.
And this is going to be an arraignment.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe you've been through arraignments before. Each time he pleads not guilty, this is straightforward.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Could you say that again?
We're doing this by video. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Can you raise your right hand for me? You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down, Mr. Robinson. You've been charged in case 23 CR 003167C with criminal trespass and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Each of these charges carries with it a maximum penalty of 12 months in jail and/or $1,000 fine. Do you waive formal reading of the accusation, Mr. McLean? You do. How do you plead, Mr. Robinson? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
We will record your not guilty plea. Your case will be returned to the division judge, and you'll get notification of your next hearing date. Good luck to you, sir.
Next, Your Honor, we have
Position number 24, Mr. Jalen Knox.
Okay. This is also a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Knox. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good morning. Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Bickerstaff?
Yes, the state's offer is 12 months to serve 76 days. Credit for time served 38 days, balance probated to an anti-theft course. If to return the license plate and no further contact with the victim Knox in this case, and to stay away from 2402 Meadow Park Drive.
Mr. Dotis?
Yes, Your Honor, that's our understanding of the offer, and we do stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for the purpose of this plea. We would just request his probation to switch to non-reporting status upon completion of the anti-theft class. I believe that he can do that within the time before his probation fees kick in.
Okay, Mr. Knox, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 001679C, you wish to plead guilty to theft by receiving stolen property. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Knox. When you complete the terms of the probation, I'm gonna allow the probation to terminate. So the sooner you get it done, the sooner you're not gonna be on probation, okay?
All right.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Knox.
Thank you. Is that piece of paper I gave you? Okay, do you need the other one? No. Good luck. Thanks.
Who do we have next?
I have position 30 and 31 Porter.
Let's see, have you all had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Porter?
We have not, Your Honor.
Okay, do you need to go into a breakout room, Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I don't see anybody else that's in the court with you right now. Do you want to go on your laptop? Go to his laptop?
Not necessary, Your Honor, because there's nobody here but us.
Okay, so we'll place courtroom 2 and 3 South into a breakout room, please.
And Your Honor, briefly before we go to a breakout room, as it is 10:47 for the.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Dotis. I'm sorry, I just can't hear you. 3 South, would you mind muting for a moment, please? Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Dotis, I couldn't hear you. Go ahead.
While Ms. McLeod is here, I believe she saw in the email, but I just want to confirm that the DVBW calendar at 11 a.m., there's just one individual on there and they will need a conflict attorney. So I did want Ms. McLeod to be aware of that.
Okay, can you handle that, Ms. McLeod, for the court?
I'm available.
Okay, let's see, Mr. Dotis, it's not quite 11. Is Mr. Gibbs going to be on the Zoom? Was he here with us?
I haven't spoken to the individual. I just saw that it was a conflict and reached out to him.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to let Ms. McLeod know in case she needs to speak to him ahead of time.
Okay, all right. So if he shows up at 11 o'clock, Ms. McLeod will allow you to go into a breakout and speak with him also.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's see, we'll put courtroom 2 and 3 South into a breakout and court will be in recess until someone's available.
Well, actually, when you start.
Ms. McLeod, are you with me?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
It looks like Mr. Gibbs is on the line. Good morning, Mr. Gibbs. Thank you for showing up a little early for the hearing this morning. Ms. McLeod here is a conflict attorney, and she is going to represent you on this matter if you would like. So can you unmute yourself for me, Mr. Gibbs?
Oh, I'm mute. Sorry, Your Honor.
No, you're fine. You're
I
fine,
jumped
Mr.
right
Gibbs.
in.
I've got the same problem, so no worries. As I was saying, I'm going to allow you and Ms. McLeod to go into a breakout room so that you can discuss this matter, and she will
Yes.
represent you this morning, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so if we can place Ms. McLeod and Mr. Gibbs into a breakout room, please.
Okay, no problem. Ms. McLeod, I had sent you a copy of that counter. I didn't know if you had it. But just FYI, you did represent him at the SCA counter. So I did put
Okay.
some information on there. Okay, did you get the
Okay.
email? I just sent it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll put y'all in the breakout room so y'all can talk.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And Judge Morrow, may I be excused early? I have a mandatory meeting with my boss this morning in just a few moments. Miss ASG Tucker is going to take over the few cases that I have left, if that's okay.
Yes, that's fine, Ms. Bickerstaff. You have a good rest of your day.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yes, Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, that's a negotiated plea.
And tell me who this is again, please.
David Porter.
Position 30 and 31.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Porter. I'm Judge Eric Moore. This is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down, Mr. Porter. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. The offer is going to be time served, which is 37 days, as well as to comply with any MARTA stayaways, but I believe they are up by now. And on position 31, the failure to appear, that will be null prost in consideration of the plea to position 30.
Okay. Mr. McLean? Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, he asked the court to accept his negotiated plea of guilty and stipulates to factual basis, identification, and venue.
Mr. Porter, it's my understanding that in case 23 CR 0007998, you wish to plead guilty to criminal trespass. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, I am, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on this charge, and that by pleading guilty to it, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Mr. Porter. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. McLean, positions 26 and 27, has a social worker visited with your client, do you know?
No, Your Honor, let's put that on Thursday.
Okay, so we'll reset that till 7/19. That's positions 26 and 27. I'm sorry.
The 20th.
Oh, thank you, the 20th.
I still lack number 25, Bernard Lawson, if I can talk to him. Hey, okay, he may be in medical, Your Honor. Also, Walter Price is probation revocation, but he does have a hold somewhere else. And he was not brought out last night in zone 2 South.
Okay, tell me again, I'm sorry. Position number 13, Mr. DeVos.
Oh, Your Honor, I believe Ms. DeVos is in Alpharetta custody. I haven't seen them log on yet. I'm not sure. That might need to be a reset.
Okay, it's going on, it's a little after 11. Do you want to just reset that till 7:20 also?
Your Honor, I think we could just reset it a week out.
Okay, so that's 25.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what were we saying about position 25, Mr. Lawson?
They believe he might be in medical. They're going to see if he's able to join us today at all.
Okay, so we'll hold for that announcement. And Ms. McLeod is speaking with someone, with Mr. Gibbs at the present time. And we're also holding on positions 35 through 38. That's her case also. Her cases also.
Your Honor,
Yes.
sorry for the interruption. I have Miss Riley up here. I was trying to get in touch with Miss McLeod, and she was not picking up.
She's in a breakout room right now. That's why she's not picking up.
Okay.
So as soon as she comes out of the breakout room, will you be ready with her?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Miss Riley, okay. Ms. Strong, can we go over the calendar
Sure.
while we're waiting?
Yes, sir.
If it's okay with everyone, while we're waiting, can we go over the calendar since we only have a few more to?
Yes, that's good by me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, positions number 1, 2, and 3 were not guilty, reset jail jury. Position number 4 was a negotiated plea. Position number 5 was. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Reset, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Reset 1 week.
Oh, was that the one we reset?
Well, that's what the calendar said.
Yes, Your Honor. For position 5, Mr. Biddle, we would request a 1-week reset for social worker.
It's wonderful. Okay, thank you. Position number 6 was a negotiated plea. Position number 7 was a negotiated plea. Position number 8 was waived arraignment, reset jail jury. Position number 9 was a plea. Position number 10 was non-pros.
Officer Milton, are you with me? Officer Milton?
There used to be a TV show called Conference Reform. You know what I mean? And it is a sense of mind.
We're ready. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay, I'm sorry. Position number 11 will be reset for next Tuesday, 7/25. Position number 12 was not guilty, reset jail jury. Position number 13 was reset for next Tuesday, 7/25. Position number 14 was a negotiated plea. 15, 16, and 17 were negotiated pleas. Position number 18 was non-pros. Position number 19 was a negotiated plea. Position number 20 was a negotiated plea. Position number 21 was waived arraignment, reset jail jury. Position number 22 was non-pros. Position 23 was a plea. Position 24 was a plea. Position 25, is that we're holding?
We're holding.
Okay. Position number 26 was reset for Thursday's SAP calendar. Position number 27 was reset for Thursday's SAP calendar. Position 28 was a plea. 29 and 30 were also pleas. Position number 31 was non-cross. Position number 32 was a plea. Position number 33 will be reset for 7/25. Position number 34, reset for 7/25. Are we holding on, Ms. Riley?
Yes.
35 and 36 we're holding on. Position 37 we're holding on, and position number 38. Position number, I'm sorry, 39 was not guilty, reset jail jury. Position number 40 was arraigned, reset jail jury. 41 was a negotiated plea. Position number 42 will be reset for 7/25. Position number 43 was a negotiated plea. 44 was a plea. 45 was non-cross. 46 was a plea. 47 was a plea. 48 will be reset for 7/25. 49 will be reset for 7/25, and position number 50 was a negotiated plea.
Your Honor, 25, Mr. Lawson, It turns out he's better just being reset. He's better off being reset, so we'd ask to do that at least 1 week out.
Okay, so reset till next Tuesday,
Yes, 7/25.
7:25. Okay. All right, so that leaves us with positions 35 through 38 that we're holding out. Let's go ahead and deal with the bench warrant, Mr. Gibbs's case. Are you ready, Ms. McLeod?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Tucker, I take it that Mr. Gibbs missed a court date.
Yes, Judge. He failed to appear at arraignment on 6/23 of this year in Judge Taylor's courtroom. He initially had a $2,500 good bond on position number 1 and a $3,500 good bond, position 2. The address he has in Odyssey right now, we think he probably just gave that updated address because the return to sender envelope that came back had an address of 2423 MLK Junior Drive, apartment 1106, which is actually the stay away address, at least in the second case. So that address, you know, he's supposed to stay away from there. He shouldn't be having his mail sent there. The new address that I've seen in Odyssey is 5478 Waverly Drive in College Park. So I'm not sure if that is a good updated address.
That is a good updated address. And he tells me that he did not receive any mail there at that address.
Well, so the mail that went out went to the MLK Junior Drive. So when these notices went out for court, they went to the address that he was supposed to stay away from. And as we know, it's up to him to keep the court informed of where he'll be, what's a good address. I'm glad that once he got notice of this, he updated the address, but it wasn't done in time for these 2 cases that he failed to appear on.
Okay, and it seems to be an address issue. Mr.
Yes,
Gibbs,
Your Honor.
this court has a practice of, I'll give you one chance, okay? So you've used up the one chance now. So I'm gonna set these bench warrants aside this time, but if you fail to appear for any other court hearings, know that in the future that you've used up your one time and they won't be reset, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so if you do move, make sure that you immediately inform the court and you need to keep in contact just to make sure that you're not missing anything, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, if nothing further from Mr. Gibbs, you're free to go, Mr. Gibbs. You have a
Hold
good.
on a moment, Mr. Gibbs. I'm going to send you a message in the chat.
Okay.
Yes,
and-
ma'am.
And Ms. McLeod, if you could prepare those set asides for the court, we'd appreciate it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, on the last probation revocation, or remaining, I should say, Mr. Walter Price, he can't be found right now. He does have a hold. I don't think there's any way to avoid a reset.
What calendar is he on, Mr.?
He's on the VOP, the violation of probation.
Okay, I only have one person, well, 2 positions on my calendar. Is there another position that?
Yeah, Your Honor, there was an updated probation revocation calendar sent out.
Okay. So, okay. So you just want to reset them to another probation revocation calendar? I mean, what did you say he was, Mr. McLean? I'm sorry.
They don't know where he is right now, so they've been looking.
Oh, they don't know where he is in the jail?
Right.
Okay. All right, so we can do that on Thursday.
Thank you.
And let's see, Officer Milton.
Yes, she can call 404.
Okay, well, let me get her back. Hold on. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here.
And Officer Milton, is she with you there?
Yes, she's sitting at the phone, so she can, Ms. McLeod can call.
Or can we just do a breakout room with you? Is that?
Okay, let me log back onto the other computer.
Okay, hold on. Ms. McLeod, would it be easier for you to call or do a breakout room?
Breakout room is fine, Your Honor. I can.
Okay, if we do a breakout room, she's gonna have to log back in and, so that's fine with me. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll be back.
Was he the, I don't see it, was he the only person on the update? What was his name, Boy?
Saw something.
Let me just look at the calendar myself.
Mr. Jordan sent out an updated one. Yeah, he is updated.
Who was it, Price?
If there's a question about price, we can explain price.
You ready for the breakout, Your Honor? You ready? You ready?
He can hear you can hear him.
Ms. McLeod.
Does they already went in the
Oh,
breakout room?
okay, they're already in there. Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Cloud, are you back with me?
Yes, like a long, long time ago. Yeah,
Is there an announcement, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client wishes to accept the state's plea offer.
Okay. Good morning again, Ms. Riley. Judge Eric Morrow, this is the state all-purpose calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hands down. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, for position 35, the recommendation is 12 months to serve 108 days, credit for time served 54 days, balance probated, to complete 80 hours of community service, and to pay restitution of $907. And I believe that goes to SunTrust. In position 36, the offer is 12 months to serve, 108 days, credit for time served, 54 days, balance probated, to complete an anti-theft course, complete 80 hours of community service, and pay restitution in the amount of $1,321.10. And in that second case, that will go to BB&T, which I believe is Truist now.
Okay. Ms. McLeod?
And excuse me, I apologize. And positions 37 and 38, both of the failure to appears will be null prost.
Okay, thank you. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, that is our understanding of the terms of the plea.
Okay, Ms. Riley, it's my understanding that in case 21 CR 004255J, you wish to plead guilty to forgery in the 4th degree, and in case 21 CR 004261J, you wish to plead guilty to forgery in the 4th degree. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol this morning?
No, sir.
You've been represented by counsel. Are you satisfied with your counsel's representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you have a right to a trial by jury on these charges, and that by pleading guilty to them, you're giving up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, sir.
Is anyone forced or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
I'll accept the plea as negotiated, Ms. Riley. When you complete the terms of the probation, it'll go to a non-reporting status. So the sooner you get the terms done, the sooner you don't have to report to probation, okay?
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Riley.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. McLeod. We appreciate you helping us out this morning. Thank you.
My pleasure, Your Honor.
All right, I think that completes the 9 and 11 o'clock calendars. So if there's nothing further from anyone, you all have a good rest of the day, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge. And these two null process will be coming right now, Ms. Strong.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, see you all next time or Thursday.
Judge, you going home for the SEA?
I'm not on that calendar this
Oh,
afternoon.
you're not on the calendar today? Okay, I did not know. I thought we wanted the whole day with you.
So since I'm not